What's going on, guys? Wander Nomad back here with you. So yeah, if you've seen the name of the channel, the name has changed. The content will be changing just a little bit. I'll get into that in a little bit. My wife, Counseling Nomad, is also doing videos on the channel, so we decided to go ahead and make it like a dual purpose channel, kind of like a one-stop shop, if you will, as far as trucking questions, both on the driver's side and on the passenger or spouse side. So we've decided to go ahead and do that, and welcome to Trucking Nomads. We'll have to get a new intro set up, so this video may or may not have an intro, or I might just use the old one. I'm not sure. You guys will see that obviously before the video starts. So I wanted to go into some reasons why I'm leaving Shaffer Trucking. Changing hats. I'm not saying that they're a bad company. They did very well by me. Just a few things that were basically on my no-go list. So one of the first things, and one of the things that started it, is most companies, if you are forced to sit for X amount of time, you get layover pay. Crete only offers that in very limited circumstances. Mainly if it's a problem of the customer. They don't pay when it's their fault you don't have freight. Or, I don't want to say their fault, but if there's a reason beyond the driver's control, most companies will pay for it. They do not. Had an instance a couple weeks back. I was in California, had delivered a load, and they couldn't find me a load out. So I ended up sitting in California for 3 days trying to find, or waiting for them to send me a load out. Didn't get paid for any of that time. Ended up getting an 1,800-mile load. I mean, it's a good load. I'm not going to complain about the load. But that ended up being the only load that I got on that week. So, you know, the pay could have been bumped up had there been layover pay, $100 a day or whatever, for sitting and waiting for a load. Again, this is not anything to bash them at all. It just didn't fit with what I was looking for. There's a bit of micromanaging, as far as every day. What's your ETA? You could have 4 days to get there, and the first day there, what's your ETA? You know, and I understand, maybe they can get an earlier appointment or something like that, but it's a pain. It really is. And it does get annoying. Again, it may not be a make or break for some people. It might be. From what I've heard, their holidays are blacked out. They try to get you home for at least part of the day on Christmas Day, but you can't request your home time or anything like that between certain days. I think it's like a week before Christmas till like the day after New Year's. You can't request home time for those days. So, you know, for somebody like me who's out here on the road, that was kind of a deal breaker. Because whether I choose to or not, I want the option to see my family on the holidays. You know, again, that might not be a deal breaker for some. And it's nothing against them. It's just not what I'm looking for. And lastly, the truck. Not the truck itself. The truck runs great. I have had no problems since all those mechanical issues that I had on that last truck. I've had no problems with the way this truck runs. However, I've come into some situations where optimized idle is not good. There should be APUs or something like that. There have been plenty of times where, say, the thermometer reads 80 degrees. I don't remember what their lower range is, but their higher range is 85 degrees before the truck can stay idling. But it might be 80 degrees outside. Sun's beating down on your truck. It's 95 or 100 degrees inside, with the windows open and all that stuff. So, they wouldn't want to have their house at that temperature. Why should we be forced to have ours at that temperature? Why can't we use an APU to draw power and use less fuel than idling? Now, they do have I think it's a 15-minute interval. It comes on for 15 minutes to cool it down, then it shuts off for 15 minutes. That 15 minutes with the sun beating on your truck is a killer, while you're waiting for the truck to turn back on. It raises your idle time, which they keep calling you about idle time, but they don't realize that it gets hot. So that's enough about the company side as to why I chose to move forward toward purchasing a truck and becoming an owner-operator. I wanted that freedom to do the kind of stuff that I had mentioned. Now, I had mentioned in my last video that their business model did not match mine, and UFOzNoJoke, this goes out to you. The discrepancies in the business model. Now, my business model, I want to gross at least $4,500 a week. Reason being, I mean, I don't need that much, but reason being is my expenses. I'm looking at approximately $2,000 a week or so, $2,500 maybe. But I want to put some money aside where I could either choose to pay off my truck early, or I can, purchase another truck and put, and expand my company. I'm not going to be able to do that at $1.08 or $1.05 or whatever it is a mile. I'm not going to be able to make those kind of numbers. I'm not going to be able to grow the way that I want to. It does work for people. It absolutely does. I'm going to use Trucker's Coach as an example. He was an owner-op with Crete. He paid off his truck. It is a business model that works for people. It just doesn't work for my particular instance. So I decided to go with a company that pays a percentage of the load, and I choose the loads off the load board. So, I could get $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a week. Where at Crete I might be limited to $3,000 or $3,500 if I run hard. So I don't want to be paid by the mile. I want to be paid by the load. I want to that way I'm in control of how much I'm making. So it's not that they have a bad business model. Like I said, it's worked for some, and it's worked for some people who are well known out here. It's just not going to work for the business that I want and what I want to do with my business. So I went out and got me a truck, and decided to lease it on to a company that pays a percentage, and I feel that my company will be able to grow in that way. So that's kind of the reasons why why I chose to leave. I did give a 2-week notice, as should be customary with any job, whether it's a big company or not. You should give them notice. So I did. They accepted it. They didn't tell me to go turn my truck in right now. So my last day with Shaffer Trucking will be November 8th. So if any of you guys are at the Kansas City terminal November 8th, I'd love to meet you guys. Like to hang out maybe before I make my way down to the company that I'm going to start with. So I just wanted to put this out there, and kind of wanted to make a special video on it. UFOzNoJoke had asked about that, and I'm thankful for the question. That was a wonderful question. So if you guys have any other questions, leave them down in the comments down below. Please like the video. Send me a comment, subscribe. I don't know, whatever all these YouTubers are supposed to say. I'm not a cookie cutter YouTuber, so yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for stopping by and watching this, and make sure you guys are being safe out there.